Welcome back to the Metronome Madness League, the Shadow Squad going up against the EV Hearts in round number 11. Shadow Squad starting off with a chest spin going up against the Frigibacks for the EV Hearts. And Frigibacks going to use a Forest Curse, but that's going to fail, of course, as chest spin is already a grass type. Chest spin going for the Ivy Cudgel. That is not very effective, does a little bit of damage to that Frigibacks. It was a stab move at the very least, as Frigibacks now goes for a Blizzard, which is super effective. Oh my gosh. Just been down to 11 HP after that hit. It goes for the Spark, which again, not very effective against the Frigibacks. And Frigibacks goes once again. It goes for a Hyper Beam. That's overkill. Chespin does, of course, go down to the Hyper Beam, and the first Pokemon lost is on the Shadow Squad. Each team is 4-6 on the season so far. So they both need a win here in order to get themselves closer to the playoffs. Mimikyu coming out for the Shadow Squad fails its attack, but Frigibacks does have to recharge, so no attack on either side of the field as Mimikyu tries to go again, this time with a Drain Punch, which is super effective, and Frigibacks will go down. So EV Hearts lose their first Pokemon as well as they send out the Tropius. Mimikyu going once again, this time going with a Glaive Rush. That hits, doing a decent amount of damage to that Tropius. As Tropius makes its move, it's the quick attack. That does not affect the Mimikyu, is a ghost type, so normal type moves will not work as Mimikyu goes again, this time with a no retreat. Interesting, so it's gonna raise all of its stats here, which is pretty good. I've mentioned it before, no retreat is a good move in these battles as most Pokemon aren't going to try and swap out. Here comes the Tropius again. It goes for a Sunny Day. So Sunny Day is up, and that is going to activate Tropius's Solar Power, which does do a little bit of damage to it at the end of every turn. We'll keep that in mind as the Baton Pass is used by the Mimikyu, and that's huge. That's a good combination. It used no retreat, and then the Baton Pass to the Kirlia, giving Kirlia that boost from its no retreat. Kirlia did trace the Solar Power though, so it will as well lose a little bit of HP at the end of every turn. Tropius tried to heal the Kirlia. Of course, that didn't work. So now Kirlia can attack, this time with the Leaf Storm. Not very effective, not the best move to use, and his special attack falls after that. Here comes Tropius with the Spin Out. Ooh, that's super effective, and Kirlia's down to 3 HP. And the Solar Power will make it faint as it loses that last 3 HP to that. And Mimikyu will have to come back out for the Shadow Squad. That they did not make use of that Baton Pass. It was a good combination, but they were unable to really make use of it. Here comes the Terastallization from the Shadow Squad. They're turning the Mimikyu into a pure Fairy type. So that's a pure Fairy type Mimikyu on the field. It still has its disguise up as well. It hasn't been hit by any moves as Mimikyu goes for the Trick Room. Trick Room, of course, twist the dimensions. Tropius will go here, and it goes for the Powder Snow. Powder Snow hits the disguise, of course, and so now Mimikyu can take damage. Tropius in the red thanks to the Solar Power. The sun is still up. There goes the ally switch from Tropius, which fails. It's not a double battle, so that will not work. There goes a Feather Dance from the Mimikyu, lowering Tropius's attack. Probably should just attack if you're the Shadow Squad. It's not a really good look here. They are at a disadvantage at the moment. There goes the skill swap, which can't work. You cannot use Disguise unless you are Mimikyu. Mimikyu goes for a Flame Charge. That's going to be super effective, and the Tropius goes down. Mimikyu is going to raise his speed as well there. So the EV Hearts move on to their last Pokemon, which is Dupiter. So Dupiter's out for the EV Hearts. And they're going to Terastallize the Dupiter. And it will change into a Fire type. So it's a Fire type Dupiter against the Fairy type Mimikyu. Dupiter will go first thanks to the Twisted Dimensions. And it goes for the upper hand. That is going to fail. Mimikyu now gets to use a Side Shield Bash. That does a good amount of damage. Dupiter got a whole third of its HP taken away there. And Dupiter goes again, this time with a retaliate. The retaliate hits for barely any damage. Mimikyu goes once again. This time Mimikyu goes for a wish. So it's going to get some health back in a few turns there. Also, Mimikyu gets to go first again as the dimensions have returned to normal. There goes the role play, and of course that will fail. Again, nobody can use the skies but Mimikyu. There goes the Luster Purge from the Dupiter. That does hit, doing just a little bit, but Mimikyu gets his HP back up to full thanks to the wish. This Mimikyu is just being dirty this whole match as it goes for the Skitter Smack. Not very effective against the Dupiter. It is a fire-type Pokemon, but it is in the yellow now as Dupiter goes for an Eerie Spell. Eerie Spell, oh, barely doing any damage, but does take away 3 more PP from Mimikyu's Metronome, and that might be the tactic. But Mimikyu goes for the Water Spout, which is super effective against the Dupiter now because it was a fire type, and that win will go to the Shadow Squad. So the Shadow Squad now 5 and 6, EV Hearts 4 and 7. If you enjoyed that match, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more of the Metronome Madness League, and I will see you in the next one.